In this video, I'm going to walk you through the stages of teaching your dog how to use a dog ramp. Stage number 1, I lure the dog by using treats placed fairly close together to get them comfortable to walk over the ramp. Depending on the confidence of your dog will determine how many treats you need to use and how many sets of repetitions you need to do. But you should not move ahead if your dog is hesitant or avoidant in any way. You want him to be happy and comfortable with the texture on his feet, and he's willing to step on easily and cross easily. I'm using less treats on that run, and now I'm not going to use any treats. I'm just going to use my hand as a guide. He follows my hand because he is used to touching my hand.
Good boy.
Now he gets a treat for coming all the way off. I'm going to use that leash to make sure that he doesn't avoid it.
Good.
Now he's just following a finger point. And he goes across smoothly and cleanly for one treat. I can move on to the next stage. Now we're ready to move on to stage 2, where I add some elevation. When I add that elevation, I go back to adding the lure in my hand to encourage the dog to go over the ramp, even though it's now raised a little bit. And I'll stay at this level until he is comfortable, increasing the elevation as needed.
Good boy.
Ramp.
Good boy.
I'm not very loud, but you can hear me add the verbal cue of ramp prior to each repetition now, because I am comfortable that he's going to follow through and go on the ramp.
Walter, ramp. Good boy. Walter, ramp. Good boy. Walter. Ramp. Oh, wrong. Come on. Good job. Walter, ramp. Good job. Walter, ramp. Good boy. Walter, ramp. Good job.
It's not uncommon for owners to think that trainers are perfect, and here I am getting ready to set my dog up to fail. I made a complete mistake there. See how the bottom of the ramp is not touching the ground, and when he adds his weight it bobbles? Now he's suddenly like, nah, I don't know if I trust you. I don't know if I trust this process. All right, let's just keep working. And he gets off the ramp really quickly. He's like, you are stupid, woman. Well, that's all right. Part of it is knowing that you're going to make mistakes, and how can you correct those mistakes and rebuild the trust in the dog that when I make a mistake, I will recognize it and change the exercise so that you can be successful. So I went ahead and lowered it back down to that step so that it wouldn't wobble anymore on him. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not.
Come on, ramp.
You can see some hesitation because he's like, yeah, last time it moved. But do you see how he put a little bit of jump to get up on it? That tells me we can go to the next level.
Walter.
Now we're ready to actually work with the car. So I've called him to me. When we start to work on the car, it's important to help them line up And it's important for them to learn to wait. So I just kind of reposition the ramp, move the blanket and stuff that's in the back, take my time, because that's what real life is like. Now that it's set, I'm going to call the dog up.
All right. Go ramp.
At this stage, they have to learn how to add momentum to get up that ramp. Let them figure out for themselves how much effort they need to put to get their back end up that ramp. You can't tell them that. They have to figure it out on their own. So just be patient with them.
Good boy. Ready? Walter, ramp. Good boy. Walter, ramp. Good job.
It's not uncommon when you're training a new behavior to get this kind of response where I've asked you and the dog doesn't do it.
Ramp.
Novice owners are saying, oh, my dog is stubborn or non-compliant. In reality, oftentimes that is the dog's way of saying, like, I get it. Why do we have to continue to keep doing drills? I know what you want. I can do it. Mom, this is dumb. He comes to the side of me. Mom, this is like, I get it. What's the point? So when you see that, do one more successful repetition and then increase the challenge of the behavior, because they're clearly saying, I understand that. All right. So now let's add the next layer, which is I put the ramp in and I close the door. Walter never rides in the far back of the car. So this is a new experience for him to be in the back of the car with the door closing. But this is an important level because a lot of guardians don't do this, and then as soon as they open the car door, the dog is crazy and wants to jump out. So I remind him to stay so I can get the ramp out, get it set up, and my dog hasn't jumped out. This is why Zen door is important for your dog to understand before we add the ramp. And now I asked him out and he's like, oh, I'll just take a shortcut. He's a young dog and he can. So again, I'm going to ask him to go in because it is really important not to just use the ramp to go in, but to use the ramp to come out. He's like, okay, fine. Now, so I repeat the exercise. I put him in the back. I close the ramp. Well, because he never rides in the back, I closed the door. And when I opened the door, all I saw were his back legs. You can see him right there. He's starting to do it. He climbed from the back of the car into the middle part where he always rides. So when I opened the door, all I see are those back legs. He is in the process of climbing over the seat, and I'm kind of chuckling to myself. So I get the ramp set up, and I had to actually flop down part of the seat so he could get back over the seat to come out, which tells me it's time to move on to the next level.
Ramp. There. Yay. Good job. Good job. Oh boy. Walter, ramp.
I like to start on the hatchback because there's more room to ask them to get in, but ultimately they're going to ride in the middle section. So now they need to learn how to get into the middle section of the car. And I'm having some slight technical difficulties with my seat. It keeps flopping down, so you're going to see me keep having to go in and fix it. So I apologize for that. But then it's really important for them to learn to come in and out of this because it looks different than having the big hatchback.
Walter. Touch. Good boy. Walter, in. Well done. Walter, out. Good job. Good job. Wait.
Because I have two dogs, it's important for them to learn how to get in and out together. So now I add the last step, which is adding my dog Stanley. He's my older dog. He goes in first because he's bigger, and he sits on the side opposite of the driver, so he always goes in first. That stupid seat won't stay up.
Walter.
Then I call Walter in.
No, use the ramp. Come on. Good job. Stanley, out.
They also have to learn how to take turns coming out of the vehicle as well.
Good job, boys.